I think this is one of the best 16 millimeter pictures I've ever seen that Dick took of Intrepid leaving. We've done our separation and we're waiting for, we've done our undocking and we're waiting for Dick to separate and leave us so that we get over on the night side and do our first alignment prior to the descent orbit ejection burn. The first time I looked at this movie, it looked so unreal to me. I thought if I saw that in a Hollywood movie, I'd say it was a fake. But I was there, and so were Dick and Al, and we'll all vouch for the real thing here. As you can see, the way we undocked and hold inertial attitude, we are coming around to the local vertical here where we were looking at each other with the moon dropping down in the background, just coming up for Dick to do his SEP burn. Now these are the movies, and I'll let Al describe them. He took them. Want the pointer? Okay.
Yeah, I guess this is the first time that Pete got out, and he's getting ready to move over here to the right. One of the interesting things is to watch the way Pete moves. This is pretty much the way it looked too. Watch how slowly and carefully he moves when he first gets out, and you feel like you're slightly unbalanced. And before the movie gets much further, you'll see that you catch on real rapidly and you quit moving so slowly and start to jump around on the lunar surface. But right now you're trying to find where your CG is. Look how far forward Pete looks.
Yeah, this is a quick break off the flight plan. I couldn't stand it any longer. I had to go see if I could see the surveyor.
This is a slide of one of the landing gear pads, and you can see that rod that's moving out sort of at an angle to the left is one of the probes that extends down from the foot pad that gives you a signal in the cockpit when you're 5 feet or so above the surface. And that was the lunar contact light we called, and Pete shut down, and then you can see from the way it's crushed in there that we really weren't moving fore or aft or left or right with any sort of velocity because it crushed right under the pad. If you had been moving very much, it would make a big scar on the surface and then fold under the pad. This isn't the best picture, but you can see the soil under the engine there, and you can see it right around landing gear that it's sort of the top layer of the dust has been moved away, maybe the first inch or so, leaving quite a number of rocks exposed. It didn't erode that pit there or anything like that. You might get that impression. It's not.
In the same area, it's near the Ocean of Storms, Eratosthenes. I just wanted to show you this because I think it happens to be one of the prettiest pictures that we got from lunar orbit. It's just a beautiful thing to look at.
We thought we'd pass that on to you right here.
This is for Apollo 13. This is one of the pictures we took with an 80 millimeter lens the morning of our lunar landing. We call that DOI day, or landing day, or whatever you want to call it. But it illustrates, and I'm sorry that it's not a little bit lighter on this particular projection, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, there's
Okay, the arrow here is to the north, and here is Apollo 13's landing site. The line coming in in this direction is their approach path to that particular site. An illustration of our high-resolution photography. This is taken with a 500 millimeter lens. The ellipse on the right-hand side is the Apollo 13 landing zone in Fra Mauro.
I guess everybody gets excited about stable 2. That's not a bad position to be in, but it's rather straightforward how you get there. You don't get the chutes off in time. And Dick, of course, was in the left seat, and I was in the middle, and Al was in the right. And if you notice those pictures, you'll see the bottom of the spacecraft is rather flat in several places because we had exactly the right combination of wind and sea so that we had one whale of a impact on landing. And the 16 millimeter movie camera flew off and hit Al right in the head. And it stunned him for about 5 seconds, which was just long enough for the wind to pull us over in the stable too, and Dick, of course, being over in the left, couldn't see the camera hit Al, and he was over there hollering, "Push in the circuit breakers, we're going over in stable two," and Al was completely out to lunch. He was over there, and he finally came to in about 5 seconds, and he ducked the camera very slowly, which had already gone by 5 seconds earlier, and reached in, pushed in the circuit breakers, and he says, "What the heck are you in such a hurry for? I got him as fast as I could." So I guess maybe that was the only anomaly we had on that part of the flight.
I thought he was behaving like a rookie, but I'll guarantee one thing. Captain Bean is no longer a rookie.
Yeah, he learned the hard way, though. The first 2 hours into the flight, we made him hold all the equipment. And then he said he knew why you took rookies along, to hold all the gear.
The Apollo 10 and the Apollo 11 teams made so much out of spiritual matters and scriptures that it caught the attention of Mrs. O'Hara, the atheist, and her followers, and also made it noticeable in a way probably that you gentlemen didn't. And I was wondering, and some others have been wondering, if there's any pressure put on. And since you returned, has there been any attention or attempts of attention, calling your attention to that matter?
Had it done any good to say, "God bless Mrs. O'Hare up there," I would have done it. However, I feel all it would have done was serve to give her unwarranted publicity through the press, and therefore I think we reacted not under any pressure, and had any of the other crew members desired to say anything up there, that was well within their right, and had we needed to take leave to be on our personal time up there or something, well, I'd have been glad to grant it as skipper of the crew so they could do it.